So I've been looking at my shop setup recently, and one of the things that really bugs me, a pet peeve of mine, is this setup I got here with these wires. So the way I've got my shop set up, I've got all my major bench tools all in the middle of the shop, and because of that I need to plug them in somewhere. So the only place that really works is the ceiling and where the garage door outlet is. So that's kind of handy, except if you look at what I got here, I got all these wires. I got that coil thing, roll thing that I plug in everything into, and then I got a few other tools over there, sander and a bandsaw that I have to shift all that over if I ever need to use those. So it's really kind of a hassle, really messy, trip hazard, you name it. So I figured there must be a better way, and that's where I got to thinking. So I've got these two plywood boards here that I'm going to use to make these long pieces for my project, and this piece is the template I need to make just the part that jogs over, and the rest of it's just straight, so I don't need a template for that. Alright, I'm going to extend these lines here. Okay, got the pieces cut out, rough cut on the bandsaw. They're still needing some sanding or routing. I think I'm going to actually route all these edges. I made these templates that I'm going to use to cut out these little curved pieces. They're going to make ledges for some of these shelves. I glued the templates onto a 2x4, and I think I'm going to trim it down a little bit. I don't want it so thick. Alright, so I got these little pieces made up, and I really like how they came out. They're really cool looking. Well, I got plenty of glue on there. Go on to the next one here. So just stick that on there. Alright, now it's time to get this thing all glued up and assembled. And you can see here how I had to carefully and creatively maneuver and position these parts so I can get them all assembled at one time. And after a while I finally did get it. Okay, how about that? Trying to clamp this guy. And after that I wanted to put some band clamps on it so I can keep it all tight while the glue is drying. Tight. And that took a little bit of maneuvering as well, but that wasn't too bad. Okay, not bad. And finally I placed some squares with clamps on them on the assembly to keep it square while everything was drying. Get one down here. And the last pieces I needed to install glue onto this assembly were the base plates that are going to be used to mount this assembly to the ceiling. Got those feet attached, and we're going to let that dry for a while. Since I showed it to you last, I've put a nice paint job on it. Well, I think it's a nice paint job anyway. And it's almost ready for installation. I've got just one more thing to do before we install it. So since this assembly is going to be suspended from the ceiling, I wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to fall off on me, and so I decided to attach these metal brackets for good measure. So I got this thing mounted on, well, it's sitting on this ladder, and it just happened to fit nicely where it sits on this step here on the ladder, and it's just really close to where I want it to be on the ceiling. So I want to show you these tools that I'm using. This is a bladder gizmo. I don't know what else to call it. But this thing, when you pump up this bladder, you can use it to push up on a surface between two surfaces. Just put a board underneath here, and then stick one of these on each side, like so, get the air out of it, like so. And now I can just pump these up together, and it's going to help me bring that guy up so that it comes up right to the ceiling. I don't know if you can see that. Well, it extended real nice, and then do a nice mark in there. Just relax these bladders. Now I'm just popping in these plastic anchors to provide a better holding for the screws I'm going to use. I did use a stud sensor that can check for AC wires inside the wall, so I made sure that there wasn't any electrical wiring nearby. Alright, and now I'm going to go ahead and pop some screws in there. Now that it's mounted on the ceiling, the next step is to mount this power tower gizmo. I'll just tie this up here with some zip ties. Power outlet is installed. I don't know if you can see this, but it's got buttons over here on the back side, and I can turn these individual outlets on and off. I've also got some USB ports here, so I can plug my phone into it or whatever, anything electronic that uses a USB port. Now I can bring over my drill press on this rolling stands here, and I can plug it right in to this. So now I can plug in my drill press here right in the middle of the shop, and the cord just has to go up into this thing, and I can go and use it like so. Really handy. I got room underneath here, can't walk underneath, but at least I can put some things on the floor if I want. I've got shelves up here. Now these shelves are kind of high, especially these two up here, but this one at least I can probably put some things up there like my phone or something. These are probably too high to use, so they're just going to be there for maybe things that don't get used very much. If nothing else, these two shelves serve as reinforcements for the structure to keep it nice and rigid. So I really like how this turned out. It does the job that I was looking to do with it, and it looks good, and it saves space on my floor, which I like. So I would say this project's a success. If you like this video, give me a like, and I'm Mike, and I've been thinking.